On this Christmas Eve, President Trump is at his resort in Palm Beach, Florida, giving no indication at all about whether he will sign the bill containing $900 billion in desperately needed coronavirus relief. Let's discuss with the Democratic Representative David Cicilline of Rhode Island. He's joining us right now. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. The holidays are here, but the country is facing the prospect of a government shutdown, also the prospect that crucial pandemic benefits will expire for millions and millions of Americans who are in desperate need right now. Is all of this in the hands of the president right now?
Unfortunately, Wolf, it is. I mean, what the president is doing is unconscionable. People are hurting, really suffering because of the economic consequences and the public health consequences of this pandemic. We worked together in a bipartisan way and passed a relief package. It didn't have nearly enough in it, but it was a down payment, a beginning that provides extended unemployment, an eviction moratorium, direct cash assistance to families, rental assistance, vaccine distribution, testing regime, really important stuff and small business assistance. All of that is now up in the air because the president has not decided whether or not he's going to sign this bill. And, you know, this is not an episode of The Apprentice. He's playing with people's lives, with the well-being of the American people who are in desperate need of this help, of this unemployment assistance, of this these survival checks. And what the president is doing is unconscionable.
If the president does veto, if we don't know if he will, but if he were to veto this COVID relief bill, $900 billion, how much longer will these Americans who are relying on it have to wait until they get this desperately needed help?
Well, he's delayed it already, of course, as a result of his inaction. We would have to override the veto. We'll be back in Washington on Monday to override the veto on the defense authorization. We'll do the same if he vetoes this. But he is unnecessarily delaying desperately needed relief to the American people, whether it's by 1 day or 2 days or a week. It's really unforgivable. It's people are, I know here in Rhode Island, but all across this country are really hurting, are living paycheck to paycheck, some of them without jobs, hungry because they need food assistance, facing eviction because they haven't been able to pay their rent. And this is Christmas Eve. We tried to do unanimous consent this morning, and the Republicans objected to an effort to increase it to $2,000. But look, the president has been absent from these negotiations. He's been so focused on trying to spread disinformation about his election loss that he hasn't been actively engaged in this work.
At the same time, the president, as you know, issued yet another wave of pardons last night, but he may only just be getting started. We hear, what do these pardons tell you about how President Trump views his presidential powers during these final 27 days in office?
These pardons are sickening. This is a president who has undermined the rule of law, who sees the use of presidential pardons as a way to advance his own self-interest, to protect his political allies, to reward people who obstructed the investigations that surrounded his administration and his conduct. We have people who have been convicted of war crimes. We have corrupt members of Congress. We have many of the people that Robert Mueller convicted in his investigation. And the president sees the use of the pardon power not to repair some injustice, not to remediate some problem that occurred in our justice system, but to vindicate his own power, to protect his own interests and his political allies. It's really disturbing. The good news is anyone who gets a presidential pardon no longer enjoys a Fifth Amendment privilege because they can no longer be criminally prosecuted. All these individuals can now be compelled to testify truthfully before the Congress of the United States. And I look forward to bringing those witnesses before the Judiciary Committee with lots of questions for them that they now are going to be required to answer.
Thanks so much for joining us on this Christmas Eve. Representative David Cicilline, good luck during this holiday season for you. Happy New Year. Let's hope 2021 is going to be a better year than 2020. Appreciate it very much.
Same to you, Wolf. Let's hope so.